This is the Round 2 podcast with Galen, Parker, and Stephanie Nicole, where we talk to big thinkers, big dreamers, and big idea havers. Quitting and failing are not the same thing, and we're going to show you why. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to be able to build a business on YouTube? Well, check out this latest episode. We're about to show you how. This is the Round 2 podcast starring Stephanie Nicole. My name is Galen Parker. Stephanie Nicole, say hello to the people.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Don't ever change, Stephanie. So, Stephanie, all right, we're starting off Monday. We're getting our sea legs. We're trying to regroup. How was the weekend, first and foremost?
My weekend was busy. I am building out a custom closet and painting, which I thought in my head it was going to take like 2 hours. And I didn't calculate the time right at all.
Not even close.
Days.
Two things that I like about that. One, I've been out of town. I've been following this closet journey, if you will. It's been fantastic. I've seen you've got child labor going on. You got nephews coming through. There's painting going on. I was like, is that a building permit? The second of, I love the fact that you saw the scope of the project. And any man who's ever been in a relationship has heard this for themselves. They said, hey, this is just going to take a couple of minutes, a couple of hours. And every man was just like, you have no idea what you've just endeavored on. So now you're probably went like day 4 of the build.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it. But when you are done, you're going to have so much room for shoes. I'm gonna put some of my shoes over there. So how do you feel about the task?
It was a little challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I thought in my head it was easy too, but I mean, I'm glad I started it. I'm glad I thought it was gonna take less time, because I would have never started it if I would have known everything that I was about to go through.
I feel like that's how most entrepreneurs think, and that's why we have this show. They're just like, man, if I knew it was going to be this hard, I wouldn't have done it. But we want you to do it. We want you to kind of tune in. So if you guys are not following Stephanie on social media, do that, and we'll provide you with her link and all of the social media content below at the end of the show. But if you have not done so already, feel free to hit this like and subscribe button. We're pointing down for a reason. We're doing it because everyone else does it. Maybe one day we'll start pointing up. But whatever you do, make sure you point your mouse onto that button so that you subscribe and stay up to date with content that we are bringing to you guys. We are dropping entrepreneurial bombs. 1 bomb, 2 bomb, 3 bomb. It feels like Normandy in this thing right now. I looked at the guest list that Stephanie Nicole has even coming in the future. I looked at the guest for next week. I'm like, I know that's not who I think it is. I was like, I know that's not who I think it is. Oh man, I got excited looking at that. So we're building on to something nice. I was in DC. If you're listening to this from DC, can I borrow some money? Because that is the most expensive place I have ever been. I had a dinner. I'm not going to details. Had dinner, got the check, and just looked at it. You ever get a check so high you just like kind of pause? You're just like, what did I eat that would kind of necessitate that? And in DC, they've got like surcharges for everything. So it's like, you got 20% on this. I saw an aggressive 3-figure bill that came my way, and I just stared at it. Then I looked at the bartender and I stared at it again. And I was just like, are you upset? Are you mad at me? Why did you do this? But good time if you guys have an opportunity to do it. I stay in a hotel called the Yotel. Google that if you can. It's a Japanese company. Basically, it's like a self-service hotel. I'm loving it. But that's enough about us, because this is an episode that I think a lot of people need to understand and pay attention to, because everyone that I speak to, when I say that I have a YouTube channel, Jared and I, we have a YouTube channel, we make money off of it. They say the first thing, I always say, that's what I need to do. I need to start a YouTube channel. And I always just laugh, and I'm always like, okay. And they're like, I'm going to. And I'm like, you'll put 4 videos up, maybe. And you're going to see how painful that process is. And so thankfully we've got Dylan McCurchie. Am I pronouncing that right, Dylan?
Yes, sir.
Dylan McCurchie's in the building with us. He has a awesome show, Dylan Talks Tones. Does he have 5,000 followers? No. Does he have 10,000? No. Does he have 20,000? He have 50,000. He's got 100,000 subscribers. Run that numbers in your head. And I talked to Dylan last week, and what we both kind of agreed on is that YouTube is not in the business of making you money. So you have to realize that your job is to sell your product using that as a vehicle, because YouTube's not like, oh, let me just give you a check. They're not. That's not the point. So get
Mm-hmm.
that out of your mind. If that's what I think, a lot of people do that. I was speaking to a little kid the other day, and I was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? He said, I want to be a programmer and a yubtubber. And I was like, what is a yubtubber? And then he explained it to me. He literally explained it to me like this. He was like, I want to do what you do. And I was like, what? And then he explained, I'm like, oh, that's what the kids call YouTube. Yubtubbing. We are yubtubbers. So every little kid wants to do this. We're going to talk to Dylan because he's already doing this. Dylan, give yourself an intro. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, hello. You already know my name. Basically, we make guitar parts. That's what our real job is. We make the magnetic pickups that go in electric guitars, and build guitar parts. That's what I do. We make the magnetic pickups that go in electric guitars. So those of you that are not familiar, if you look at an electric guitar, it's the little kind of dots that go underneath the strings. Those are magnetic coils. We wind them here. We sell a couple hundred of them a month, and we do it right here. And when I started this business in 2011, I had come out of like a legacy media driven brand with magazines and stuff, and I knew that magazines was not the way to do it anymore, and so I just right away started a YouTube channel.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I just know that it's going to happen. So I was pretty much Gary V in it before Gary V was doing it, as far as just like giving away free information. Like, okay, I'm just going to talk about what I do. I'm going to share what I do. I'm going to teach people what I do. And what they're going to find out is that it's too hard, and they're just going to buy it from me. And that's exactly kind of the business model, really, is you just show people stuff and they go, oh, well, it's just easier just to buy one. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so we supply some guitar companies. That's kind of a smaller portion of my business. Most everything we do is retail. So all of the content that we make on a daily basis across all the social media platforms just drives traffic to our .com. And so we just have a Shopify site and people just buy retail from us. That's mostly where our stuff comes from. We do manufacture some parts for some other companies and stuff, but that's not that big.
I love that business model because I feel like there are so many, like there obviously like super tech savvy people out there, and they're probably thinking like, oh, I can do it. Before like the novice or the busy guy or someone else, he's probably thinking, I would love to. If in a perfect world, I would do this myself. But for convenience and accessibility, I'm going to just purchase it from you guys, which kind of reminds me, if I don't know if you guys have read the Steve Jobs book, but he kind of talks about, they realized that his market was not the computer nerds that they had been like kind of servicing before. And they're like, the average person just wants to, I just want to get on the internet and I want to have a pretty uniform experience. Where like prior to that, there was like people who were like, I want the heart. They want to put it all together for themselves. He's like, if we just build these and we tell them how hard it is, and we just say, you know what, this is really complex, but here, if we just give this to you for this price, would you take it? And they realized like that retail market was like, yeah, I would rather just kind of click on the internet. I just want to surf the internet. At that time, they were like, I just want to be on MySpace or whatever derivation of social media was at that year. So that's a real cool thing. How many videos would you guys say maybe you do like a day or a week, just to kind of give everyone at home an understanding of what the work requirement is for you?
So on the big channel, we do 3 pre-recorded and pre-edited videos a week, and we do 2 live streams a week.
Okay.
So that's a video every day on YouTube, plus shorts content that promotes each one of those videos after, like, do a little short or something that drives people back to that video that we just produced. So we do shorts content every day. We also do Facebook and Instagram content every day. And then on our off-topic channel, we do 3 to 4 videos a week over there, because I have a real thing about creating the community around the brand. So yes, we talk about guitar stuff, and there are a lot of people that are like, if you get off topic like 2 degrees, they flip out because that's not why they're there. So we created a completely separate channel so that we could drive people who we are actually building relationships with to that channel, and we can have. I'm a big pocket knife collector, and I do some sports shooting on the weekends, and I'm a fountain pen collector. Some weird, kind of weird hobbies. So people get into that stuff, and so they become friends with you, and then it drives them back to the brand. It's a relationship building thing for the whole brand. So the bottom line is, like today, by the time I have 2 more to do after I'm done here, I will have produced 5 today that will go out over the next 3 days. And then on tomorrow, I'll do a live stream, and then I'll produce 3 more on Wednesday for the rest of the week.
I love that.
Plus, I have to actually do my job.
You got to actually make these the car pickups.
Yeah. So, you're talking about 4 to 5 hours per video of production. So it's a big time commitment. Plus that's not including like the conceptualizing. I have a Hobonichi planner that I sit here with a pen and like, okay, at night at 10:30 at night, I'm like watching somebody else's YouTube channel and planning content for the next 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's just a constant thing.
I think that's where a lot of people struggle, right? Like even us, like one of the things I think Stephanie and I struggle with is like building the community around just the podcast, of just being like, all right, we're giving you gems, but it's like they don't know that they're there so we've got to like step up our social media. We got to step up our shorts just to kind of like push this thing out to them. So what got you started with YouTube? Was it something that you had read, or you had saw another channel, or were you just one of those guys who were like, I know YouTube, I know videos of the future?
So my previous 2 businesses, all through the 2000s, from like 2000 to 2009, I was in the power sports industry designing dirt bike parts.
Okay.
So building parts for dirt bikes. And designing them and doing all the engineering for that stuff. That business was based on magazine. So I would write magazine articles. I would write editorial. You would buy advertising in Dirt Bike Magazine, Dirt Rider Magazine. I was friends with the editor of those magazines. And then they would say, hey, can you write this article? And we would be able to kind of promote our products in the legacy media style of that. I got hurt really bad in 2007. I broke my back in 4 places. And so I didn't work for a couple of years, and I sold out of that company. And I started one of the first, there was 4 of us. I started one of the first smartphone repair companies in the country in 2009. And I started that with Craigslist ads. And so I realized, wait a minute, the scalability of e-commerce, because we were doing everything with the dirt bike stuff, e-commerce too, but not the advertising. So when I stepped onto the internet 100% with the smartphone stuff, and it was all Craigslist ads and all this kind of stuff. And I realized, because I taught myself how to fix cell phones because I broke my iPhone 3. And the only videos, this is when YouTube was just getting started, the only videos were in Chinese only, like with like how to fix the parts. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I sold that company to one of my employees and then got back into the music business. And I said, okay, now we're going to start from day one, knowing that journey out of legacy media through this whole like advertising with online ads and all this only online stuff, going fully e-commerce and thinking e-commerce and thinking building audience over the internet only. What's the best way to do it? In 2011, when I started, 2010, 2011, when I started this, YouTube was like, I think this is the place to be. And so I just bought a little action camera and stuck it on a little tripod. And those videos are all still up, and they're terrible. But I will tell you right now that episode number 10 of the 2000 that I've made is still in the top 10 viewed videos this year on my channel.
And that was with
because it's one of the
was
most.
that with like the little tripod camera?
Yeah, and it's terrible. It's 16 minutes of me like rambling. I could have probably said it in 4. Like, you know, so yeah, it was, but that's it. And then I was like, okay, now we're teaching people stuff, we're giving away free information, and we're sharing a product with them. And that's pretty much my model to this day. We do some product reviews, but I'm pretty opinionated about stuff, and a lot of brands don't like me.
You don't want to alienate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like we're at the point now where we can kind of, I want to build community more than I want to like get brand deals.
Right.
You know, there's a business model for getting brand deals, and look at somebody like Marquez Brownlee, right, who reviews cell phones, and he's got 10 million subscribers, and he just makes a living basically off of people sending him phones, and he does reviews, and he does, so that tech stuff that's not my model. My model is to build my own business. Like I don't need, I don't want really to do that.
I would think like for that, to me, so we do like restaurant views for our YouTube channel, and I always feel uncomfortable, honestly, when people invite us to their restaurant, as opposed to me just choosing the restaurant. Because like if you invite me to your restaurant, I'm going to tell you what I really think. And it's like, hey man, thank you so much for your hospitality. This was the worst thing I've eaten this week. Like I feel like I don't want to do that. I'd rather just show up at a place, let them be like, what are you guys doing here? I'm like, oh, we're just going to set up a camera. We're just going to run through this and like talk about it. And if it's good, then it's good. If it's not, I will politely be like, hey, you know what? This is not my taste. I prefer things with a little more flavoring, a little more cooking, a little more seasoning, right? Just try to like, I'm very honest with people, but yeah, I can understand like if someone's like sending you like their guitar part and they're like, hey, what do you think of it? And you're like, oh, this is junk. Like, then they're going to be like, this guy sucks. He's so opinion, right? So like, I wouldn't want that either.
Yeah, so you're making videos on a daily basis, but what type of content do you think best showcase your product, and what content do you think performs better, or do you see performs better?
So that's a constant moving target.
Oh, yes.
It's a constantly moving target. It actually has a lot to do with the seasons. Like what, we're coming into the gift season now. Okay. I know it's only August, but for content planning, I got to be looking already at November.
Yes.
So it's a moving target. But what I would say mostly is if you can impart it doesn't matter your business. If you can impart some sort of knowledge or value or behind the scenes kind of, if you're in real estate and you can suggest to somebody, these are things you should never say when you're looking at somebody's house. Yeah. If you're in the car business and you want to give people, this is how you buy a car and don't get taken. If you're a plumber, this is how you check this before you call the plumber to save yourself $500. Those sorts of very helpful things are good. The controversial side of folks really likes versus videos. Yeah. So, this versus this, 5 reasons why I can't stand whatever. I really try to not spend time in the negative space because I'm just not a negative person. So when it comes to 5 reasons why I hate something, I don't do those usually, but they do really well. So, but helpful things. Honestly, the most important thing to me is not actually the content itself. It's you connecting with your audience and being able to not lose who you are. I always tell people, don't make videos for your audience. Make it for you. So like, make your favorite video. Okay. Because you will put the most work into it. It will be the best. Nobody loves what you do more than you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're the one that drives you. So if you're constantly chasing audience, well, what I want to see is I'm the algorithm. Like, well, what is everybody talking about this week? I want a video to do well. You'll always be chasing that. It's a longer candle to burn to just make the videos you want and then attract the audience that aligns with you, but it's better. It's taken me, I know lots of guitar YouTube channels that have gone from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in 3 years. It took me almost 11.
Wow.
But
I love that.
the slow burn is so much more stable. I have like a really good basis of people that I was telling you this the other day, that is it a Tim Ferriss thing who says if you have 1,000 people who will buy anything you make, you know, if you came out with toilet paper with your name on it, they would buy it, then you would never starve for anything, right? I feel like I'm at like 200.
Okay.
And that is the number that I'm concerned with. I'm not actually concerned with 1 million video views on every video. I'm not actually concerned with individual video performance. I'm concerned with the one person that gets value from it that wants to spend money with me today, or the 3 or 4 people. So if I put a video out today, I know what I need to do to make a living and grow my business. So let's say I make a video and I get 4 to 5 sales off of that video today, but the video only gets 300 views. I'm happy with that because it served the purpose of building the business. The other thing is that evergreen content like guitar stuff, because guitars haven't changed in 100 years, is still out there. So going back to my earlier conversation about episode 10 about how a volume knob works on a guitar, is one of it drives more people to my website than almost any other video, and it is 11 years old. So those videos are still making me money. They're not making me view money. They're not making me YouTube view money, but they're driving people to my website and they're selling my product for me, even though they're kind of crappy, even though they didn't initially get that many views, they're still out there working for me. So I care about the quality of the content itself and that I'm inspired to, and then that will lead me to be in a position to inspire others. And if they feel inspired, then they will, so I don't chase the view, really, if that makes sense.
I think so many people get obsessed with this idea of going viral. I hear people talk about that. And I think it was probably Stephanie who kind of clued me in, like probably 4 or 5 months ago, when she started like looking at the amount of money that people who were actually streaming were actually making. And she was just like, they're making a lot less money than people think. And like all these people are going like viral, but it's like, man, if you don't have an actual product to sell, you're basically just hoping to go viral and hoping YouTube writes you a check, where it's like, if you had a product that you could move, you're writing your own check. It's like you're driving. And to me, even if your video is like bad, it's like your crappy video is better than my no video. Like I don't have any video on guitar. Like I tried to learn, I had an Epiphone. I played guitar for like 5 seconds when I was a teenager. It's like I got no videos of that. I should start a YouTube channel and be like, here's why I still can't play guitar, and then like just tell people about it. Like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't form the calluses. My hands were too delicate. All that stuff. But so we've talked a little bit about, obviously, in my opinion, this is what people need to hear. Like you have to like stop being obsessed with chasing these trends and like do this dance video, do this thing. It's like, all right, get something that you love. I wrote down, make the video that you love. But what about the business? Because obviously with entrepreneurs, so many things that we try, it fails and so many people give up. Was there ever a business that you were like, I am going to be sitting at the table with Mr. Jobs, Mr. Musk, with Mr. Facebook, and this is going to be the next big thing, and it just didn't work out?
So this is my 9th business. I started my first business when I was 17.
Okay.
They've all done pretty well. The one failure, and this goes back to make the video you like. The one failure is I opened an insurance agency in my mid-20s.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, because I saw the money in it, and I made a lot of money. Hated it. Hated every minute of it. And as I really understood the business, I started liking it less and less. I was less inspired every day, and it just spiraled and spiraled and spiraled, and I almost lost my house. I mean, it was like It was the worst
Mm.
thing I've ever done. And it wasn't because the business was bad. It wasn't because of bad decision. I was not inspired to do it. And I went straight from there into the dirt bike business. And I got to ride motorcycles for a living, and it was the best thing ever. And what I learned from that is the first business I started when I was 17, I washed cars. I started a detail business when I was 17, and I ended up getting a government contract for a bunch of fleet vehicles. So I was 17, making $5,000 a month. It was awesome. You're 17,
exactly.
you know what I mean? So it was huge. It was like, this is huge, What I learned from all that is we had an ice cream company. We had a bicycle powered ice cream company that did really well. I sold it to an 18-year-old for cash that he saved up mowing lawns.
I love that.
All the things that we've ever really been good at, I have a firm belief that if I can make somebody's hobby or fun or whatever more meaningful, then I'm going to be successful at it. So I think about this every day. So, and you could apply this to anything you do, but the business that I'm in now, if you're a guitar player, and you could be a real estate agent, you could be a whatever, people only have a certain amount of time to devote to whatever they need to be doing. So in the guitar space, you have a limited amount of money that you can devote to your guitar hobby. You only have a limited amount of time. You have family, you have all these other responsibilities. My job is to make sure that the 20 minutes a week that you get to play the guitar is the best that it can be. And if I can do that, then I'm inspired to do that because I'm making, Phil Bob, the guy sitting in T-Mobile call center telling somebody why their cell phone doesn't work, who hates his job. He goes out to his car for coffee break and he watches a YouTube video and his life is better because he learned some guitar stuff and he got to escape that for a second. Like that to me is super inspiring. So like, if I can do that, and if whatever I'm doing for a living, it doesn't matter. If it's the next business, it doesn't matter. But if that's the goal of it, I'll be fine. Like that's what I care about.
I like that, Jim.
Yeah, it's what I care about more than anything. And the insurance company didn't have that. It was like, it just didn't have that at all. There was no inspiration to it. There was no, yeah, you're helping people, but who cares about car insurance, man? Like you got to have it. Like, but it's not like, hey, this is super fun to buy this. Like, it's not like
it's
TV,
like you're selling like shoelaces. It's just like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I need.
I mean, shoelaces are cool. They come in different colors. Like car insurance is like, oh my god. So, or life insurance. You're gonna die
when
soon.
You
so
die,
you're
it's like,
exactly when your wife dies.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like I don't know. It was just so terrible. I just didn't like it at all. And even the cell phone thing, you made people's day. Like, I broke my phone. I am freaking out right now. Don't worry. I got you. Like, we can fix this. Like, it didn't matter. It was like you could make somebody's day better. And that's the way I approach life. And so it just, I don't know. If I could do that for people, then that's what I'm going to do. And it's really inspiring to do it. So
I like that. I like that a lot because it kind of puts things in perspective, especially with like anything that you guys are doing. So if you guys are listening to this and you're trying to come up with ideas, make sure you take note of, what can you do that will make someone else's day, life, hobby better. I know I can speak for myself. It's just like, I didn't know anything about like smoking meat. That was just like alien to me. Didn't know anything. Watched a YouTube channel. I got on like Facebook Marketplace, bought a smoker for like $50. Like watched the videos, learned about type of wood chips, type of meat. And I just started like he was like, oh, I'm going to put a link below for this thermometer. Bought that thermometer, got his affiliate money probably. So then I did that. And then I was like, man, this is so much easier than, there's a lot of guys that like, they had like MIA dads where they're just like YouTube University is kind of educating me on like a million different like topics or stuff like that. Okay. I like that. So,
and I think, and if it doesn't matter, even if your job isn't fun per se, there's got to be something interesting about it, or your business. If you're a plumber, if you're a construction worker, if you cut grass, if you are whatever, and you're trying to promote your business, surely there is some way that you can make the experience in that, whatever it is, if you sell tires, if I can get on YouTube and you just made my tire buying experience easier and took the headache away from me, I got value from that, and I really, really appreciate that, and I'm going to come back.
Right.
I just had a great
know.
idea. You just inspired me with an idea. And I'm going to share this idea with Stephanie and you and whoever's listening to this. So if you guys steal it, then if you beat me to this thing, one of my least favorite things is going into Home Depot or Lowe's, right? I'm not a handy person.
Mhm.
It's very intimidating. I don't like walking up to the guy. But what I do love is using the Home Depot or Lowe's app. I'm going to start making videos and be like, look, guys, if you're looking for this part and you know nothing about it, you don't have to talk to anyone. Here's the secret. Go to this app. It tells you aisle 6, level 9, and we're going to walk into this thing and be like, nope, not talking to you. Find the product. Oh, man. Because so many times I'm just like, I have no idea where to even start. And it feels terrible going to the professional at Lowe's or Home Depot, ask them the question, and they're like, oh, do you mean the 3/8, the 1/16, or the 3/4? And I'm like, bro, I don't know what you even said. I don't understand what you said. I was like, now I'm like in Lowe's generally with the YouTube open, and the guy's telling me, oh, it's the 3/4. And then I open the app and I'm like, and it's right there. And you feel like they would play like Staying Alive music from Tron of me walking out of the store, just like, bum, bum, just like feeling like $1,000,000. That's gonna be my next YouTube video idea.
No, I love that though. People need stuff like it may sound simple, but people need simple step-by-step directions for literally everything you can think of.
All the things that give me anxiety, I'm gonna start making videos on how I cope through the existence. All right, so as we kind of wrap up, what are some gems? What are some like things that you can kind of pass on to the next generation of entrepreneur? And you've already kind of given us some really great ones, just talking about like consistency with like video making, or just even, I wrote down, make the video that you love, make someone's day better, build community. I also wrote down like people love behind the scenes things. I think that's something Stephanie and I are going to tackle in the next couple of weeks. But what are some other, just for entrepreneurship in general? I mean, this is your 11th business, or is this your 9th business? This is your 9th business. 9th. You've had pretty good success.
And actually, we just started number 10.
Yeah,
so
I love starting businesses. It's like my addiction. All right.
Me too. It's the funnest part.
This is great.
I love it.
What can we tell people?
The biggest thing is this works if you put the time in.
I know that's right.
All the things, all the time, every day. People ask me, like, what do I need to do? Is Instagram, is YouTube, is like whatever, all of them.
Yeah.
Every day, all the time. Come up with a content plan, talk to somebody that knows what they're doing, and do it, and do not miss. I'll tell you right now, if I go on vacation next week and don't make a video, it will completely grenade my month. And it will take about 3 to 5 weeks to get it back. If I take 1 week off. So you have, it's people, like you said earlier, people are going to put up 4 videos and they're going to think that okay, now I have a YouTube channel, which is good. I always tell everybody, do it, and do not buy equipment. Don't sell.
I tell that to people too. Yeah,
just
buy nothing.
Don't buy anything. I mean, I have thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and most of it's in a drawer, and I'm using a little webcam right now. So yes, keep it simple and consistent. You have to stay on it, and just make sure that you are doing stuff that you want to do. Make sure that you're making content that you want to make, because it has to be sustainable. I've gone through stages where I was so tired of it and almost quit and was like super bummed out. And my wife will tell you, she'd be like, you need to go shoot a video or do something or be creative somehow to get yourself out of this, because you'll get in like a rut, and then you will, like, if you don't like what you're doing, the content won't be good. You'll feel it in your sales. You'll feel it in your business. You'll feel it in your family, and you'll burn out. Like, people talk about YouTube burnout. It's a real thing. So make sure that you're doing stuff that you love and keeping it fresh, because otherwise it can be a grind. I'm putting 40 hours a week probably in the YouTube channel, and then another 40 hours in the other business, and then another 20 or 25 in the new one that I'm starting. So,
And you have a wife and
it's all the
family.
things, yes, exactly. It's all the things all the time, every day. You got to do all of it. And, people always, I don't know. I think about people that say bad things about, Steve Jobs or whoever, like, oh, he's rich or whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, you know why? Because he got up earlier and he stayed up later. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to do it.
I love that.
So otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Or it's just, yeah, exactly. It's not going to work, or it's a failure. Stephanie, do you have any questions for him before we wrap it up? This is great.
I think I am good. I mean, we might have to get you back up here because I have like a whole bunch of more questions just on YouTube content creation.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we might do a part 2. I love that. But yeah, one of the things is like YouTube is like this thing that I'm in love with. It is like the prom queen. It's the homecoming queen. It's the girl next door. It's the sorority sister. It's like this thing, and it's just like you want to attain it, but when you realize how much work goes into it, you're just like, oh my goodness. But when you do love something, guys, find your passion. Find the thing that gets you excited about. Find the thing that you will not shut up about. That's the thing, probably. And then as Dylan kind of broke down, don't make the video where you're trying to like chase numbers. Like tell people, like, people love passion. Passion equals proximity. Proximity equals power and success. You've got to do the thing that you love. People will sense you're passionate about it. And then, if you're fortunate enough, you'll make a little bit of money off of it, but maybe that's not the goal. Guys, this is the Round 2 podcast where we are trying to help entrepreneurs like you, big ideas, however, big thinkers, big dreamers, make their dream into reality. We had a wonderful guest with Dylan here. Dylan, if they need to reach you on social media, where could they stumble across your YouTube channel? What's that address?
Dylan Talks Tone everywhere. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the things.
He went to the social. He went to the Stephanie social media class that I did not know. Stephanie, if they need to reach you, where do they find you?
Stephanie Nicole RVA on everything.
And if you guys didn't know, you notice that Dylan talked. He's got 100 grand followers on YouTube. Stephanie's got 100. What are we at now? 105,000 on your Instagram.
Maybe like 117,000.
117.
Nice.
I've got 17 followers total. Maybe I got a couple of followers, but
my biggest issue is I create content organically all day, every day, but I never think to post on YouTube. But the crazy thing is I consume the most on YouTube. I just never think to post there. That's how I know that they actually are making money, because if they got me on there, like that's my favorite app.
I love it. And you guys can find me at _Galen Parker on everything. This is the Round 2 podcast. Thank you for listening. We're going to have a part 2 of this because we need to put a nice little bow on this information. Have a great evening.
See you.